Hello everyone, in today's session we are going to learn about Salesforce profiles. So let's proceed and firstly discuss what does we mean by profile. So in Salesforce, the profile is a collection of settings and permissions that define what a user can do in a system. It control access to objects, fields and other functionalities within the Salesforce. And in profile you have multiple user, but a user don't have multiple profile in sales. Moreover, the profile is a key component of a Salesforce security model, and this profile helps you to enhance the security feature of your Salesforce, that the user have an appropriate level of access to a data and the functionality based upon their roles and the responsibilities. In addition, the following is the list of controls that are managed by the profile in Salesforce that I have listed in the last option. So we will discuss each of them in detail one by one. The first one is object permission. It specifies which object user can access and what action they can perform on these object. The next one is a field permission. It defines access to a specific fields within an object. Moving ahead, we have a user permission. It determines the journal user capabilities such as the ability to manage user or reset a password. Next one, we have a tab settings. It controls the access to a specific tabs in a Salesforce interface. Moving ahead, we have a app settings. It governs the access to application within the platform. Even we have a Apex class access that manages access to Apex class, which is used for creating a custom business logic. We also have a control access to a visual force pages for customizing the user interface, and in the page layout we specifies the arrangement and organization of a fields on a page. The second last one is the record type. It defines different record types with a distinct set of a pick list values, page layout, business processes and many other things. And the last one, we have a login hours and the IP ranges, which specify when and from where the user can log in into your Salesforce account. And you have already covered up both login hours and IP ranges in the previous sessions. So now we will proceed and discuss about the types of a profile in Salesforce. So in general, we have two types of a profile, that is a standard profile and a custom profile in a Salesforce. So let's understand each of them in a detail one by one. The first one is a standard profile. So the standard profiles are a built-in profile, or you can say it is a out of the box profile that came with the Salesforce. Okay, these are not built up by any specific user for any specific functionalities. It by default came up with the Salesforce, or you can say it is a pre-built or a pre-default or a default profiles within a Salesforce. And these profiles are designed to provide a common roles and responsibilities within an organization. Moreover, these standard profiles include profiles like a system administrator, standard user, read only, marketing user and many others. And even these profiles provide a basic set of permission and access to a standard objects and functionalities within a Salesforce. But there is a one limitation of this standard profile in Salesforce, that you can't modify the sum of the permissions and settings within a standard profile. So I hope you have understand what does we mean by the standard profile. So now let's discuss about the custom profile. So the custom profiles are the profiles that administrator can create and customize to meet up some specific needs for their organization. They cover up the limitation of a standard profile that I have discussed right now, and allow more control and over permissions and access. Moreover, these custom profiles are useful when the standard profile doesn't match the requirement of a particular role, or when a unique set of permission is needed for a specific group of users. Even when you are going to create a custom profile, an administrator can define access to a standard and a custom object set object labels, field level permission, and control the access to various features within the Salesforce. So with this, we have a get a overview of a standard profile and a custom profile of a Salesforce. So now we are going to discuss some of the common Salesforce profile, or you can say a common standard Salesforce profiles that are already in a Salesforce. So here I have listed down. So we will discuss each of them one by one. The first one is a system administrator. This profile has a full access to application, and it can customize and manage all aspects of a Salesforce, including the security setting. Uh, in journal language, you can say that it is like a boss of a big company, and it can decide what everyone can and cannot do in a Salesforce system. The next one is a standard user. A standard user profile typically has read and write access to most of the standard object and some of the customization capabilities, but it is restricted from certain administrator function as the system administrator have. In journal, you can say that it is like a everyday worker. They can use a Salesforce to do their jobs, update the information, and sometimes tweak a few settings that would not break anything or does not affect anything. Okay, the third one is a read only. Users with this profile can view a record but can't create, edit, and delete them. It is useful for providing a read only access to a certain information. In journal, it is like a library, and you can use it to see and read all the books, but you can't make any notes or changes in that books. Okay. The next one is a solution manager. This profile is designed for a user who need to access to market related objects and features. And if your company is selling a new product, these users are the ones who can use the Salesforce to plan and track the marketing campaigns. The next one is a contract manager, and user with this profile have access to contracts and related object to that. We have another, that is a read only transfer record. It is similar to the read only profile that we have discussed, but the extra thing is that the user with this profile can transfer the ownership of the record also. And the last but not the least is the chatter only. User with this profile have access to the chatter Salesforce collaboration platform, but with a limited access to other Salesforce feature. So with this, we have discussed some of the common Salesforce profiles. So let's proceed and now understand how we edit a standard profile in a Salesforce Lightning. As you can't create a standard, or you can say pre-built profiles in Salesforce, because they are already built in with the Salesforce, so it is not possible to create them, but you can edit it. So we will discuss how we edit in a Salesforce Lightning. So your first step is to log in into your Salesforce account as an administrator. So once you successfully logged in, your next step is to check whether you are in a Lightning experience or a classic experience. If you are in a Lightning, so it's okay. But if you are by default logged into the classic interface, you need to shift yourself to the Lightning first. Once you reached it, you most of the time directed to this home page that is visible on your screen right now. So for this, you have to click on the gear icon that is located on the top right side, and from here you have to click on the setup. Once you click on that, it's take you to the next step, and in this next step you will be directed to the main setup homepage. If some of the users are by default on the setup homepage, so they are not needed to click on the gear icon again and open up the new tab. So for here you have to move to the quick find box that is located on the top left side. You use this functionality for searching up the profiles. It saves your time for searching of the profiles option manually, and you will get the profiles options under the users drop down, and once you get it, you have to click on that. Once you click on that, it takes you to the page or a setup profiles page, where you will get a list of all the profiles in a Salesforce. And here, as we are talking about, we are going to learn how we edit up the custom profile, how we edit up the standard profile in Salesforce, because we can't create a new standard profile or a pre-built profile. So for this you have to click on the edit option. You can click on this edit option that is given on an action. But before I will let you know how you edit, I want to show you something. You can see that here we have a last field of a custom, and in that field some of the checkboxes are ticked. It means these profiles are the custom profile, and in Salesforce some of the custom profiles are already came up with Salesforce. Okay, and maybe you have noticed one thing, that a standard profile have two actions, edit and clone, but the custom profile have a option of a edit and delete. Here the custom profile doesn't have any option of a clone, so it means you can't delete any of the standard profile in Salesforce. It is not possible to delete it. But even if the some of the custom profiles are came built in with the Salesforce, you can delete it if you required at any moment of the time with the help of this del option. But as our main agenda at that moment is to learn how we edit it, so you have to simply click on the edit option of the profile to whom you want to edit. So here I click on the edit option. It's take me to the detailed page of that specific profile. It open up a profile edit page for the analytics cloud integration user, and it written as a set the permissions and the page layout for your profile. Okay, you can see that it have a section first, that is a profile edit, where it shows the name of the profile and the user license, and the custom profile which is not ticked, it means it is a standard one. Next we has a custom app setting. You can set up your custom applications. Here we have a checkbox and the radio button for visible and default. So if you want to make any change, you can click on the checkbox or radio button, whatever you want to do. Okay, if you want to untick it again, it is not possible. Okay, you have to make any of them is default. Next we have a tab settings. Here we have a different options like a default on, tab hidden, default off. It means what tabs you want to show to that users of that specific profile, like it default on or a tab hidden or a default off, whatever you want to set as per your requirement. You can choose the option from the drop down and make the changes. We extra have a administrative permissions. We have different administrative permissions and each of them have a checkbox next to it, and you can see that it is not possible to edit these permission. Even you can't edit this journal user permission, neither you unchecked it or neither you checked any of them. Next we have a standard object permissions. We have different standard object, the list is given below. So it shows that what permission these object have. The permission define her control, the permission define here control access at object level, access to individual record within the object type is controlled by sharing model, and it set access level based upon the functional requirement of the profile. For example, create a different group for permission for individual contributors, manager, administrators, whatever things is. Okay, so let's check whether we are able to change it or not. You can't even edit it. Moving ahead, we have a session settings like session timeout after every 2 hour of an inactivity. If user are not doing anything for 2 hours, the uh, user is automatically logged out. Session security level required at login time is none. If you want, you can make it to high assurance, and even the password policies can be set from these profile. After making up the changes, you simply need to click on the save button that is given on the top or end both of the locations. You can click on that and it successfully saved it. This is a one kind of a profile that we have edited. You can also see another kind of a profile. So now let's check for the custom profile also how we edited it. So here I have selected a random custom profile. When I click on the edit option, it takes to me the page where I have a profile edit page of that specific profile. I can edit its name and also add a description. I change it tab settings if I want, similarly like standard one. Administrative permissions I can give at that moment. Here I am able to check and uncheck the boxes. Journal user permissions I can give. Even I can set up the standard object permissions, and these things are not possible in the standard objects that you have seen. And session settings and password policies are also possible here. After making up the changes, you simply need to click on the save button. So with this we have discussed how we edit a standard profile and also the custom profile in Salesforce Lightning. So now we will proceed and discuss how we edit a standard profile in Salesforce Classic. So for this, your first step is to log in into your Salesforce account as an administrator with the help of the credentials. Once you successfully logged in, you need to log in yourself to the Classic interface. If you are not in a Classic interface, redirect yourself to the Classic first. If you are already on a Classic interface, so welcome to the Salesforce Classic. So now moving to the next step, you have to click on the setup option given on the right top side. Once you click on that, it takes you to the classic setup page. Here on the left side, you have a quick find box. You can search for the profiles option here. If you don't want to go with that option, you can scroll down yourself to the administrator section. Here you have a manage user drop down, expand it, and here you will get an option of a profiles. You can use any of the way as per your choice. You will get a list of the profiles here that are in a Salesforce, both standard and the custom, that came up with the sales. So the custom profile have a ticked in the custom field and the standard one are unchecked. So now let's see how we edit it. You have to choose up the profile to whom you want to add it. Make sure that you click on the edit option that is given in a action. You don't need to click on the name of the profile, but if you clicked on the name of the profile, don't need to worry. Here on the above you have a option of a edit profile. You can click on this edit button and you can also view the users of the profile if you want. So once I click on the edit button, it shows me the profile name, user license, and next it shows me a tab settings. I can make the changes of these tab settings, but you are not able to change the administrative permissions, journal user permission, standard object permissions. You can change the session settings and the password policies, but the other things you are not able to change. And after making all the updates, you simply need to click on the save button, nothing else. Once you click on the save, it successfully edited the standard profile that are came built up with the Salesforce. So if you want to view the users, you can click on the view users button and it gives you the list of the users that are related to this specific profile. Even you can create a new user or reset a password for that user and add multiple users from the profiles also. So I hope you have understand the concept of how we edit a profile in a Salesforce Classic as well as in a Lightning experience. And with this, we have end our today's session. And in the next session, we will learn to create or a clone profile in Salesforce.